Well, you know, if I come on this early in the morning, that should tell you, okay, on Sunday. What this tell you is I woke up at 10 minutes to 5 this morning and my phone was buzzing. And there's big money showing telling me about this big trade between the Lakers and the Mavericks, which AD and a couple of bums go to Dallas, and Dallas gets Luka and a couple of bums going back to LA now. Uh, I look at it, you know, listen to some people, and people called me about an hour and a half ago, NBA guys. You know, I'm talking about guys who are big NBA dudes, um, uh, not what you would call insiders, but guys who worship the NBA, which I don't. And they didn't have to tell me. I knew what they were going to say. Now, you're going to have one side of it that it's going to be all Lakers because it's the Lakers. But this is how I look at it. And I don't look at anything with rose colored glasses. By the way, Blazers win again, so that young core is really young. On one side, I'm going to do the Lakers first for the Laker bandwagoners. What that trade does for LA is you have a megastar for the next decade. I think because he went to Willie, they're overhyping this trade. I really don't trust Anthony Davis to stay up. Neither one stays healthy. What are you talking about? And at least with Davis, Davis now is going to a third year in a row where he's stayed healthy. Luka's never healthy. Okay, Luka Doncic is never healthy. He's out for a couple more weeks. He ain't playing. I bet he'll find a way to play for LeBron within the week. But let me do the Lakers again. I'm gonna let Tony come up here. For the Lakers, it gives you a megastar for the next 10 years. You don't have to worry about it. He's due for the super ultra max, what we'll be paying him $53 million a year for the next 5 years. And the Lakers are going to do that because now that LeBron is at the end of his rope, and I saw that joke that happened in Washington the other night where his son got an N1, the people went crazy. Give me a damn break. This is why you can't take NBA fans seriously. NBA fans, a damn joke. That's why Washington is where they are. Speaking of that, how is Danny Avila working out in Portland, Washington? I just want to say thank you very much for that haste that we did with you. Okay, let me get back to what's important. For LA, it gives him a mega star in the league for the next 10 years, and he's just 25 years old. So he's going to play his best years in Los Angeles. That's how the Lakers make trades. It's a good deal for both teams. And in reality, the Lakers are the same team they were last night as you woke up this morning. The only difference is AD is in Texas now, and Luka is in LA. And a lot of people look at it as, oh, stars. That's what the NBA is stupid. And that's what their fan base is the most idiotic. Because you got to look at it in reality. So who's going to rebound for you, Lakers? Who's going to give you AD numbers on the boards and defensively against big men? Who's going to do that? Some bum that you got on the team right now? For you Laker fans, that's what you guys are going to make up. The national media, they're going to do that. Okay? Now, let's talk about why this deal was made. If you didn't hear the details, a shout out to Tim McManus on ESPN, and he covers the Mavericks like a hawk. I've been knew this one I'm about to tell you. Number one, Luka Doncic is lazy. He doesn't keep himself in shape. He's always breaking down during the season. Tony, I'm gonna give it to you in a minute. He's always breaking down during the season. And Dallas did something which most gutless franchises wouldn't do, except the Minnesota Vikings when they had Kirk Cousins. They're not going to give you a contract. In Cousins' case, couldn't win the big game, and in Luka's case, he's broken down. And what did the GM say in the middle of the night tonight? I heard the deal was made way after midnight. He said, Anthony Davis is going to get us where we need to be, which is now the Dallas Mavericks, with that formidable front line come playoff time, has a championship window for the next 4 years. And people forget, three of your starting five on that team are championship players. Kyrie, my man from Golden State, Clay, and AD. They're ready to go balling in the West now. Well, the Lakers is the same old team, just that you lose a lot of rebounding and a lot of D up front with AD. Go ahead, Tony. Good morning, bro.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm great. Got me up here on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, no. For me, this whole trade is like I was saying this. I think a guy like Luca, I like Luca, but I agree with you. Him and AD have the same issue. They can't stay healthy, and I think it's because the the culture in those teams. It seems like Dallas or LA doesn't really care about the fitness of their players. That's why they constantly get injured and stuff like that. Am I being harsh, or do you see that too?
I think you're right. You're right to a degree, but you're right. I also think to add to that, that I'm gonna do LeBron in this case since he does run the Lakers, and I do believe LeBron. He didn't know this trade was even in the air, and I'm gonna tell you why that real quick, and then I'll get to answering Tony's question. Because him and AD are tight; they go everywhere together. So this shit came out of the blue, and I'm gonna say it right now. If I'm Luka Doncic, yeah, you're going to LA. Yeah, you're going to be the man in LA now that LeBron's about to leave. But you better remember one thing. If LeBron don't like what he sees, LeBron can be the worst tyrant you ever dealt with. Okay. Now, what Tony's question is? Yeah, and I'll add one more thing, and I'm gonna do LeBron. As long as you are a superstar player, LeBron is not gonna bother. He's not. So he's gonna give Luka Doncic all the rope right now. But come September, Luka better be in the best shape of his life, and I think he will. I think he will. And all right, Tony's on me. As far as Dallas goes, I'll say it again. Dallas now has a 4 year window to win a championship. You got Clay, you have Kyrie, you got AD, you got PJ Washington, and I forgot the two big men they have in the middle. One of them is hurt. He'll be back just in time for the playoffs. So Dallas is set up now. They're set up to make a run in the West for the next 3 or 4 years. They're ready to make a run now. That was a great move by both.
I'm here. I'm here. I just had to mute myself because I went. To, I'm. I'm
Tony,
down in
do
the
what you
keys
got
right
to
now.
do.
And now.
I just started. Go ahead. Do what you got to do.
Oh yeah. Well, what I was asking, like I said, with Lucas specifically, I think being that he was the only superstar player in Dallas, they allowed him to get away with stuff like not caring about his health and stuff like that, like not being prepared day to day when it came to his fitness. And I think that's what's hurting him now with these injuries, like because the 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 front office in Dallas allowed him to do whatever he wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is where I think, to me, a guy like Luca would have benefited going to getting. Can you imagine Luca and Wemby in San Antonio together?
Yeah, that would have been scary. Basically, what has happened, and Manzana makes a great point. Imagine he was traded last night straight up for Jamal Murray. Could you imagine Luca, Westbrook, and Jokic together?
That's scary. Or would this be a matching trade, Luka for Jimmy?
Money wise, yeah, but uh, yeah, that could have worked. That could have worked.
Oh no,
Yeah,
and that's a question I
that
wanted
could
to
have
ask
worked.
you actually. When it comes to a guy like Luka specifically, or like, do you think since he's still young, he would have still like he would have been able to take all that what a guy like Pat Riley does in Miami or what
No,
Popovich does?
no, no, no. Hell no,
You don't think so?
no. Luca
Even though
can't.
he's a young kid?
He can't be coached. He's too big of a star.
Oh,
Once
you
you a
think he wouldn't
megastar,
listen
like
to Spoelstra?
yeah, he maybe supposed to reach him, but not Popovich. No,
Oh,
Popovich.
you don't
Yeah.
think Pop? You don't think Pop would be able to reach him because
No,
Pop is the same type of personality as Pat and Spoelstra, basically.
I don't know. I think Doncic is where he would like to be, and now he got the bright lights on him all the time. You got the biggest bandwagon fan base in the world in Lakers fans.
Yeah,
Bigger than
honestly,
Cowboys fans.
this generation, like to me, this generation of Lakers fans, I do not think they're actually true Lakers fans.
No, they're not. You're right. They've always been bandwagon fans. Now. Can't tell you the truth.
I thought the old school Laker fans around your age are the true uh Laker fans.
No,
That
they're
they
bandwagon too.
oh
As
they were
matter of fact,
bandwagon.
they're all bandwagon. Yeah, what did I tell you guys? The NBA has the most ignorant fan base in the world, and the NBA is a casual sport. Now, this trade here is going to help the ratings in the NBA. This is what the fanboy ignorant what you call those people again? The fanboy casual fan wants. This is a dream for the casual fan. Now he's gonna watch basketball again and he ain't gonna complain because it's Luca and what's his face.
Oh, and no, that's what I was gonna. When it comes to this trade, does this actually with how the return it was a one for one thing and stuff like that? I understand that, but does this affect help Miami better with the value of Jimmy or because
No,
Jimmy's?
Jimmy got no value now.
Oh, you don't think so?
You can get if you're gonna ship him to Minnesota for Julius Randle, what did that tell you?
Wait, you're saying that's gonna be the trade?
That's in the works, yeah. What would you think of that?
That's retarded. Uh,
Because Pat Riley is giving him away. He has Jimmy effed up the whole Miami franchise now. And
yeah,
I think it's good that Miami gets and I tried to tell you guys for years, why to tell you about Jimmy? He's no superstar. I've never liked Jimmy Butler. I give him credit. He's great in the playoffs. But Jimmy is poison.
yeah. No,
And
he's.
go ahead. Go
Uh,
ahead.
I'm a Heat fan.
I know
I,
you are.
at the start, I was on Jimmy's side because the way Pat handled this was kind of iffy. But like you said, Pat's an old school guy. He's not going to deal with all that trolling bullshit. You really think Pat, Pat learned from like who was Pat's mentor in terms of how he coached? Who did he learn from and stuff like that?
Pat Riley, who did he learn from?
Yeah, as a coach.
Adolph Rupp, who used to be his coach at the University of Kentucky.
That's what I'm saying. When you learn from Adolf Rupp, who was basically a Nazi, what do you expect? Pat
Absolutely
Riley's going to be
correct
the
about
same.
that.
Huh?
Yo, Imam, pull up. Here's the link is in the chat. Pull up since you're a big LeBron fan.
So,
Tell us how you feel. Pull up, LeBron, Imam. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, and I agree with you. Pat's not giving him, like, Pat's not giving him the satisfaction of trading him where he wants to go to
You-
because of how he's been acting the past few weeks and stuff like that. Missing, how unprofessional do you have to be to miss team flights and just walk out of practice and stuff like that?
It's like I tell people, and I said this last week, and I had NBA fan up there. I got Miami fourth in the East right now. I don't know where they're at, but they're going to finish in the top four. And the reason is, and I told you guys this, they found a legit center in Khalil. What's my boy's last name? Your center right now in Miami. Bam is the four. Jimmy was the three. They'll replace Jimmy. Wait till Manzano gets his mic up.
Can
Miami's
you hear
ready to
me
go.
now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. His name is
Sorry,
Khalil Wade.
my phone. Well, what I was saying, Khalil Ware.
All right. I saw the
Yeah,
Heat against Portland 2 weeks ago. And I was watching that game in Miami. And I kept telling everybody, you'll get a regular forward for Jimmy where you'll plug him in the starting lineup. And Miami's ready to go, folks. Miami's there, folks. Just they
but
couldn't
Julius
make
can't stay
it go.
healthy. The issue with Julius Randle, he can't. Can you trust him to stay healthy?
No, and he's a poison pill, just like what you're giving away. But it's like I'll give you my bad guy for your bad guy. That's how it's looking right now.
And and to be honest, I like that Pat and Eric are starting to play the young guys a lot more. Do, do you think that's what changed the
Yeah,
fortunes for
and
the
you
Heat?
got a legit center, which I told you guys on draft night. If this kid could do anything, Miami's going to be in business. Well, you know what? Miami's in business now.
Yeah, but what worries me about that is him and Bam are almost the same player in terms of how they play the game and
But
stuff
Bam
like.
don't block shots. He does.
Huh?
Bam don't block shots. This kid does.
Oh no, but like Bam can. I agree with you. Bam can block shots, but he's more of a like he's a Bam would be honestly Bam. Is Bam athletic enough to where you can move him to small forward,
No, he's too big for that. He's too big for that.
or you think he would move to power forward?
He's already the power forward now. Now that Neil is starting at center, it's perfect. And like I
And
said,
I think you told me multiple times that they were training this. You know the young Eastern European kid, um,
yeah,
Jovic, to
yeah.
possibly be the replacement for Jimmy and stuff
Nah,
like that.
he's too big. He's
He's too
almost
big, you
7
said?
feet tall. He's great off the bench. I mean, Miami got a nice bench. I think another problem that came up last week, Terry Rozier is going to prison, folks. If you did not hear, he was busted for illegal gambling, and that's going to. Now, the good thing, if you're a Heat fan, his money against the salary cap does not count. Once the league seizes his funds and he is charged, that money goes off the books. What does that mean? Miami's going to be a big player in free agency this year.
Wait, is free agency next year a good class, great class?
And this summer, well, let me take a
Yeah.
look. Let me take a look. Back to the trade, folks. This is a win-win for both teams. For Dallas, they have to win in the next couple of years, and they got three champions on that court to start the game. And for LA, they got a megastar for the next 10 years. It's a win-win.
And how does this help Dallas?
Dallas went to the finals last year. Now Dallas has a legit big man, and that front line with Kyrie and Clay is going to be tough to deal with.
I think the only team that can stop them is Denver, probably.
I can see that. I can see that. I can
Because
see that.
honestly, I like I said, I like AD, but I don't think he's physical enough to deal with Joker consistently.
Well,
Do
he's
you agree?
proven that every time Jokic abused him all the time. Yeah, you're right about that.
Uh, and uh, can the Heat get with that whole investigation with gambling for Rozier? So the Heat are screwed with him too. They can't even trade him because of the investigation.
No, but you get your money back.
Mm-hmm.
You get your money back.
Yeah, and honestly, I think we can get a second round draft pick for him at least if we get him.
Well,
Like,
if Terry Rozier is found is involved in this gambling, like everyone says he definitely is, he will never play in the NBA again.
okay. Oh,
And he
so
is
he's
not
get
gambling.
it's gonna be similar to what happened with P Rose, kind of almost
Yeah, you could say that. Hmm.
as a bit like as a bat like uh you were looking. I agree with you. This helps both teams, but like you said, Luka can't stay healthy, and they're gonna allow him to do anything. And there's not really. You really think JJ Redick has the stones to tell him to work out?
It's always LeBron's team, bro, and LeBron
Yeah.
and Redick are good friends.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Do you think Luka's gonna listen to LeBron to work out more? Luka's too like because of Dallas allowing him to get away with what he did. He he's not gonna. He's still gonna have that same issue in.
Uh, no, I think LeBron will get him the way he wants him. I think LeBron will get him the way he wants him. I'm looking for this for now. I don't know if Tony left. Tony always leaves. Let's see.
Hello, sorry, my
Don't
iPad
worry
keeps
about it,
on.
Tony. I got the free agent list for you.
Yeah,
Uh,
is De'Aaron a free agent this year?
yeah, yeah,
Would that be a good backcourt pairing him and Tyler?
yeah. Who are the free agents this year? I'm not going to count Mr. James Van Fleet, Kyrie, uh, Brandon Ingram. That's somebody I would look at from Miami.
We need a small forward, so Brandon would be a good thing.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
somebody I
younger.
would look at.
Is Brandon around the same age as Bam, or is he around the same closer to Jimmy's age?
He's more like Jimmy.
Oh, he's in his 30s already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is there any
Who else is
young
there?
small forwards on that list that are going to be like restricted free agents from teams that are not going to be good?
Who are young guys? I don't
Yeah,
see any.
I would rather have a young guy that could be paired.
You don't want my T style. All he does is play defense. You don't want him.
I would like veterans coming off the bench, like Gallinari would be a good bench piece if he's a free agent next year.
He's old, man. You really went down there?
No, but what he offers is more veteran leadership. Because have you heard any bad things about him causing issues in the locker room?
Nah.
That's what a guy like that would fit heat culture good. Take away the working out every every day of the week. His personality fits that. He's a quiet guy that just goes about his business. He's not going to cause any issues in the locker room or anything like that.
Yeah, but does he work hard? That's what the Heat players. That's what the type of Heat players they want. That's one of the reasons why Jimmy and the front office is at each other's throat. Because Jimmy said, "I ain't doing no more 3 day practices. Hell no."
That's weird. At first, when Jimmy first got there, he was always doing the 3 a day practices. What happened?
Get tired after a while. Jimmy's been there since what, 2019? This is Jimmy.
2020.
No, he signed in 2019.
No, I thought we traded for him and then he
No, he
signed
was
this.
a no. Jimmy was a free agent.
Oh,
Jimmy was
wait.
the biggest free agent and that summer.
Oh no,
Remember,
because I thought we traded Jimmy. I thought we got him from Philly,
yeah, as a
didn't
free
we?
agent, because the coach in Philly couldn't stand him, so he let him walk.
Would you say Jimmy's a cancer like people are saying he is, or is he more of
Yeah,
a?
yeah, he is. He is. He is.
I think, I think his person like his he's the type of player that his personality starts wearing thin on you. He's like,
Yes, 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 yes. You know, it's funny you say that. You look at the two teams in that city, the Dolphins and the Heat. Calais Campbell. This is why guys like me dog Calais Campbell all the time. Why I don't shed a tear for that loser. Because the reason why he signed with the Dolphins, because it was easy. That came out of his own mouth. It was easy. That idiot coach doesn't work you hard. The Heat, the complete opposite. On off days, you're practicing three times a day.
he. I think the only player that truly embraced that was Dwayne Wade. You agree?
Of course, because he was an Eric Spoelstra guy. Of course, he embraced it. LeBron
And
embraced it. That big three embraced it 15 years ago.
well, LeBron admitted out of his own mouth he went there because he felt like it was college for him because he never experienced college and stuff like that.
What he meant by that is Dwayne Wade could teach him how to be a winner, which he did, unfortunately.
And repeat that again for LeBron fans to hear you. They don't want to like. They refuse to hear that.
All right, you idiot LeBron James fans, this is the facts, Iman. The reason why he went to Miami was, like Manzano said, to him it was college for him. So Dwayne Wade can teach him and Chris Boss how to lead and how to win. And that is a fact.
Yeah, no, and that's what makes me mad with LeBron fans. They said LeBron had a killer instinct before he got there. He didn't learn it from Dwayne Wade.
He learned it from Dwayne Wade. If that was the case, how come he failed in the playoffs every year?
And then they bring up in Cleveland, he really didn't have anybody around him.
I can give that a pass. The first time he was in Cleveland, he really didn't. But hey, when you are the savior, and this is why LeBron James gets dogged all the time, don't run to different teams so you can win. And the only reason why the Luka trade was made because Dallas is desperate to win right now. And now Dallas has a 4 year window to win one chip because of this trade. And like I said earlier, the Lakers have a megastar for the next 10 years.
And when it comes to cultures like the Heat and the Spurs, do you think that only works with certain type of veteran players, and it maybe works with like rookies who or bench guys like a Duncan Robinson who weren't highly sought out in the draft like these G League players because they're
Yeah,
fighting
that
for.
works in it. That works in it. That's what the Heat culture is. You know what I said about the Heat? They get their players from Kmart.
Yeah, and that I think that's what, and this is where Pat. I've criticized Pat mismanaging assets, overpaying for Terry Rozier. I understand why he did it because he needed a veteran point guard, but giving up two first round picks for him was a mistake. He's not. At most, he's worth two second round picks.
I would agree with that. The Heat did overpay for that. I agree. Speaking of which, I know people don't really care, these young guys, but the groundhog they saw his shadow today, which means 6 more weeks of winter. Something that you don't have to ever worry about.
Um. Uh. Oh, what I. Sorry, my my iPad keeps on locking. What I was
Okay.
saying is, I'm gonna repeat what I was saying. With young with the Heat culture, I think it only works with certain type of veteran players and young players, like you said, like guys who are fighting for roster spots that would do anything the coach and a guy like Pat Riley says, because this is their last chance or their only chance in the NBA, basically. Uh, and when it comes to draft picks, like I said, that's the only thing I can criticize Pat for, overpaying for players that like a Kyle Lowry who was already injured, had injury issues, and Terry Rozier too, where they could giving up 2 first-round picks for either of them was a mistake. You If we still had those draft picks, we would have been able to draft more a young player to replace Jimmy and stuff like. I like Jaime, but he's more of a power forward. He's a number. He's a backup power forward. He doesn't have the foot speed to play the small forward position. Do you agree?
Totally agree.
Jaime is like Jaime Jaquez is like an energy player. You know who he kind of reminds me of? He's a more athletic. Remember Chris, the Birdman?
Yeah, Chris Anderson. Yeah.
That's who he kind of reminds me of. He's a more athletic version. He's more athletic and more consistent on offense than he's a more consistent player on offense and more athletic version of Chris Bird. Do you agree with that comparison, Chris?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing. I think the Heat. It's hard to find in the draft to if the Heat had their draft picks right now. I think it's hard to determine
Tony keeps going out, but we're still here.
uh, when it comes to teams like San Antonio and Miami. Do you agree with me that it's hard to pinpoint what type of player they want? Basically, when it comes to drafting a player.
Yeah, you know what? About 15 years ago, I had an argument with somebody about that. And you're absolutely correct. It's harder to get good character people on your team than it is getting criminals. But I'll tell you one thing the NBA has done right underneath everybody's noses. The days of kids coming from the inner city to play in the NBA, that's long over. What the
It's gonna be
NBA
European players.
that, and they also recruit players, former players' sons, and they get kids from upper middle class homes like a school Henderson, who have both mom and dad and 3 older sisters at home.
or
The
or
days of someone coming from a broken home, those days are over in the NBA. They cleaned that out very quietly. Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
and let's not act like LeBron didn't come from. He came from a private school. Let's not
Yeah, but
forget.
LeBron's 20 years ago, Tony. I'm talking about today's NBA player, the millennial, the kid who was drafted after 2010. Those players.
Oh, oh, I see what you're saying. Like they're
The
either
Devin Bookers of the world. Yes.
okay, Bam Adebayo and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
Bam from suburban New Jersey. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
Exactly.
that. I didn't know he was from Jersey.
Yeah. Kids like Bam Adebayo, folks, he didn't grow up poor. Trust me. The NBA, the days of getting kids from broken homes, we'll do Cleveland and Boston Tuesday night. 7:30 watch party. Everybody get ready for that. That'll be our game Tuesday night. Yeah, they don't draft kids from broken homes anymore.
Well, the European kids really like. We don't know what type of environments these European kids are coming from. To be honest, like before they start playing basketball, because where Luka, Jokic, and stuff, that area is in the middle of a war. So we really don't know what type of environments the European kids are coming from before they turn pro very young, going to like teams like Barcelona and stuff like that. So I'm not saying they're coming from broken homes, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, here's the problem. What you're saying, no one in America cares.
Oh, okay. So the North American kids is what you're saying. They're coming from upper middle class or maybe even rich families.
Yes, exactly.
And
Yes,
that's what I noticed with the NFL too. You've noticed the quarterbacks, like in general, like except for a guy like Lamar Jackson and CJ, Patrick Mahomes came from an upper middle class family. Aaron came from a rich family. His family's like rich. Didn't you say Aaron Rodgers' family's like super rich or something
they're
like
not
that?
rich. No, Rodgers. Remember, Rodgers was 2005. You're talking players of 20 years ago. I'm talking about players since 20 in the NFL. Be players since 2015. We're talking two different eras when you bring up Aaron.
Oh no. I meant to say Andrew Luck. Andrew.
Oh, he grew up spoiled. Yeah, he grew up
Uh,
entitled.
yeah. The only guys who I know of that came from the inner city are CJ and Lamar at quarterback. Like I
Yeah,
said, Patrick Mahomes is an upper middle class kid because his father played baseball. Was his father a good pitcher?
yeah. He was a good setup man closer. Yeah, his father won two championships.
Okay. Yeah, in general, I think athletes in general, except the only sport that I know of that your that is relying on poor kids is baseball because of the most of the kids from Central America, Latin America are coming from areas that are below the poverty line and stuff like
And,
that.
and and what is Major League Baseball doing now?
Doing the same thing as the NBA.
Yes, they're going more to the Japanese players who
So
got
they're
money.
moving away from Latin America.
Yes,
So we're not going to see any more Carlos Correas, more Frankie Lindors, more Acuna's, guys that are going to be dancing around with merengue in the locker room in the clubhouse.
you'll see some of them, but you're going to see more Sung Young Kim.
Oh, Shohei Otani's and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because let's. I think it's a cultural difference too. Japanese people are known for being like very humble. They don't brag about themselves.
exactly.
Asian people in general are like that. Like, I, I. It seems like the Latin American kids. I'm not saying that they're arrogant. It's just when you come from a place where there's no money and you get money like that, you get entitled. You agree?
Yes, you change. Unfortunately,
Is that what? Do you think that's what happened a little bit with Manny? He came from like a a bad area and stuff like that, and once he got money, he became like that, or was Manny always like that?
no, Manny's not arrogant. Manny's a demented person. Oh, it's crazy. Does stupid shit at the wrong time.
Manny Ramirez?
Yes. I mean, what the
Oh,
hell
I'm
you
talking about
doing
Manny
going to the
Machado. I'm
bathroom?
talking about Machado, not Ramirez.
No,
Machado.
Machado's a lot different. He's a guy that he's how can I say about Manny? Manny's the type of dude. If he wasn't a baseball player, he'd be a gang leader. He's one of those guys.
Wait, you're saying Manny would be out in the streets running drugs and stuff like that?
I don't no. I said he'd be like a gang leader. A gang leader is that if there's gangs, he's the leader of the gang.
The same thing. You think that that's the same thing with Correa too?
With which guy?
Carlos?
Carlos Correa?
Yeah. Is he the
Nah,
same as
Correa's
Manny?
a little different. Correa's probably get hurt too much.
No, no, no. I'm talking about personality wise. Is he the same personality wise to Machado?
No, totally different people. Tell
Honest,
tell us why Big Task why it's a lose lose. And you're welcome to pull up here if you want.
yeah, and I like you said. I think sports in general, the athletes that you're seeing now coming into sports are upper middle class kids who had the resources to play in these travel
Exactly.
leagues.
Look at our hockey team, the U.S. World Juniors. Look at the hockey players that the U.S. is producing. They're all from millionaire homes.
They're already spoiled kids, basically.
They're spoiled. They get everything. And unlike Canadian kids, and me and Moss are going to talk about this, unlike Canadian kids who start at 3, 4 years old, American kids start at 14 years old to start learning how to play hockey.
Because we have a, you know what it is? Hockey is not really a huge, like, that's only popular up north and stuff
Yes,
like that.
you're right. You're right.
And
You're right.
it's a seasonal sport. Down here in Florida, you only have the year-round sports like soccer, baseball, maybe football now too,
Yeah,
and stuff. Sports you can play outside all the time.
yeah, I agree. Excellent point. And something that I've been saying all along, folks, when these salary caps go up, where do you think these players are going to go? Toronto? I don't think so. The Rangers? Maybe. The Kings? Yeah, for business opportunities. These players, these young free agents in the year 2026, 27, they
They
want to
would
go
want to
to
go to Tampa or
Chicago.
the
They want to go
Panthers.
to Miami. They want to go to Nashville. They want to go to Seattle. And they want to go to Dallas. Reason? No state taxes, no income tax.
Yeah, no, and let let's be honest with Florida now. They're building a culture like you, they're not as extreme as the Heat, but they're starting. That culture is starting to build like the Heat did. You agree? The Panthers.
Slowly but surely, yeah. It is. It is. And that's a
I know
great
that.
way
I
to make.
know. I've been sounding crazy when I've been saying this. You think the only way Brady leaves Ottawa is if it's other than a place where his brother is playing because he doesn't want to be under the shadow of his brother.
No, bro. Brady Chuck is in no shadow. Brady Chuck is much better player.
Brady over Matt?
Yes, you know how many teams will line up for Brady Chuck right now that he was available?
Does Matt even say his brother's better than him?
He don't want to admit it, but everybody else in the NHL knows. Okay, big task, get right back. Everybody in the league knows Brady's much better. Why do you think Brady ain't better?
And this is why I'm saying Matt's style is exact. His father had skill, but you agree Keith was known for being an agitator,
I don't
right?
know, 500 goals, man. I don't know about agitating.
No, I'm saying when you when hockey fans talk about Keith Kachuk, like even though he has the stats to justify his respect as an offensive player, what people focus on is his ability to agitate people and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're
Like
saying. No, Matt's like that. Brady is more like his father.
when you would you say he's more like Walt Kachuk then Matt?
No. You're right. Matt is more like his father. Matt is. The one who's in Florida right now is more like his dad. He just
Yeah,
doesn't score like his dad.
yeah. Matt's more to me. Matt is more of a. I'm not sure how to say this with Matt specifically. He he he's great. He's good or great at multiple things. He's not a superstar at one skill. You agree?
Totally agree. He's one of the best power forwards. See, I told you he's similar to Jerome McGinley. I told you that.
Oh, he's Jerome McGinley. You think?
Yeah, he's close to Jerome McGinley. Yeah. Well, his brother, on the other hand, Brady's more of a leader
You
of
don't think
men.
Matt's a leader?
I think he is now. I think he is now.
You know what? I think what helped Matt is that he had a guy like Barkov to take the
I
leader.
totally agree. That and the money Florida paid him. No, I'm dead serious. Because
No,
what Matt realized was if they're paying me all this money, they expect the best out of me. And for 2.5 years, they got the best out of him. And back-to-back Stanley Cup appearances, including a championship. So that,
well, when you look at him and Barkov, do you think their playing styles complement each other?
yeah, yeah. Because Barkov is more of a facilitator and a defensive whiz.
A lot. I think I can't remember if it was your Moss that said he reminds. I always said he reminds me of Tamu Solani, but he doesn't have the scoring ability of Tamu, but he has the overall game of a Tamu Solani. Do you agree?
No, because Timo was a left winger. Barkov is a center. Totally two different players.
Oh no, I'm saying, was there a great? Would you say he's Yari Curry kind of?
No, Larry Curry wasn't a center. And
I thought
Barkov don't
Yari
got those
played
type of
center.
numbers. He don't got those type of numbers.
Moss says Patrice Bergeron
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yes, that's more like
of an like not modern player. What older player around when you were a kid does Barkov remind you of?
someone like
Anybody on those Montreal teams or the old the the like what is it called,
a
the
little bit
Montreal
like
teams?
a little bit like Matt Sundin.
Matt Sundin. I can't remember who said that. On NHL Network, I think it was. I can't remember which analyst said that. He's a combination of Sundin and Bergeron and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that.
So does Sundin's defensive ability get underrated because how great he was on offense?
Yeah, and what hurt Sundin, the
Injuries.
Avalanche got rid of him and Olin Nolan, and they wanted to win Stanley Cups.
Who's the closest to Madonna in the league today for American players?
American players? Ooh, I gotta think who is an American center right now in the league who's good.
I was gonna say before his injuries, I would have said Jack Eichel maybe.
It's not Eichel, no. He's no Eichel's great though. I'm a big Jack Eichel fan, but he's not there. I gotta
In
think.
terms of his skill set, I'm saying in terms of the skill set, you don't see.
Nah, nah, no. McDonald was a multiple 50 goal scorer. Multiple.
The guy I honestly see a lot of. For me, I've always said back to Barkov. To me, I understand the Sundin comparison, but he reminds me more of Kopitar and Bergeron.
Then
He's
who?
a mixture of Anze Kopitar. I'm talking about Barkov. To me, he's a mixture of Kopitar and Bergeron. Do you see that more than Sundin and Bergeron?
Nah, to me, it's more Sundin.
Oh, you don't see Kopitar's game in him?
Nah.
Oh,
Kopitar is great. He's had a hell of a career, I'll tell you that.
I forgot the center who used to play for LA with Dustin Brown. Do you know who I'm talking about? Like there
Mike
was an
Richards?
American, huh?
Mike Richards?
Yeah. To me, young players, I agree with you. It's hard to say. I don't see anybody American wise that matches Madonna, but the guy honestly
You know who's
maybe
McDonald? I'm glad you said that. And the reason why we both lost count of it is because he don't play in the United States. Austin Matthews is McDonald.
Austin.
Austin
Oh,
Matthews
Austin.
definitely. Austin Matthews is definitely Mike McDonald.
Uh, for non-American players, you know who? To me, McKinnon is Madonna. Nathan McKinnon.
McKinnon's not a center. You gotta
No,
compare players by
I'm
position.
I'm not talking about position. I'm talking about player wise, like taking away the position. I know they don't play the same position. I'm talking about the skill set and his ability. I agree with you. Maybe American player wise, I think the closest to him is Austin Matthews. There's a 50 goal. Do you think Austin's gonna score 70 goals?
Nah, because he was hurt too much. I do think scoring 2 goals last night, Ovi's gonna beat Gretzky this year.
Oh no! What I'm saying with Matthews, do you think at any point in his career he's ever gonna do a 60 or 70 goal season?
Yeah, he's young. Yeah, he got plenty of time to do that again. Yeah, he's gonna do that multiple times.
Do you think he's gonna be the one dominating the Rocket Richard trophies every year?
He has a chance. Yeah, but this year he was hurt.
Who
But Matthews is Mike McDonald 2.0 is Matthews.
do people forget how big Madonna like? Because the way he played, do people forget how massive Madonna actually was? How big he actually is?
He's a
Or
small
was
guy, Mike McDonald.
no, I'm saying like size wise with
Yeah,
Madonna, do people underestimate how truly big he was because of the style of play? He's a big guy that doesn't play like a big guy, basically. He's not a
McDonald
physical
wasn't big, Manzano. He wasn't big.
Madonna.
He
I have
wasn't.
always assumed he was like 6'3".
No, like 6'1". McDonald was more skilled, like the kid in Jersey. What's his name? Jack Hughes.
Like Jack Hughes.
Yeah,
The Jersey guy I always liked was he just retired. I like Travis Zajac a lot.
yeah, he was good. No, Devils be getting these strange players, man. They turn out to be great players.
Except for Pretty Boy, and you know who I'm talking about.
Pretty boy, Devils.
Kovalchuk.
Oh yeah, Ilya's a different.
That's a nice way to put it with Ilya, saying he's different.
Yeah, what happened to Ilya? Where he went down. He got married at a young age.
I think Ilya, to me, like personality, I think Ilya would have thrived in LA or in
Donald signal went out for a minute.
with Kovalchuk. Do you think he would have thrived, like personality wise? Do you think he would have thrived in New York or LA, or he would have crumbled under the pressure?
Which guy? Kovalchuk?
Yeah, Ilya.
I don't think Kovalchuk had a problem with media and stuff. Kovalchuk's problem was like Fedorov fell in love and put love ahead of his career.
Wait, no, Sergey was chasing women around.
Yeah, but here's the
Ilya
difference.
married young.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Sergey already had 2 rings. He did what he had, but he could do that because he was a winner.
But you said it is Alex. Who was it that you said looked at him like he was crazy? Alexander and who?
Bure did. Bure is like, yo. Bure
Was he?
told him, I wish I was where you was.
What? What was he chasing around? Sharapova or Kornikova?
Kornikova. He loved him some Anna Kornikova, boy.
Half of the team must have thought he was crazy.
They did.
Detroit.
They did. His career was never the same.
He
Dead serious. His career was never the same.
he was basically like before that he was disciplined.
Yeah, he was coached under Scotty Bowman.
Honestly, the guy I like Fetisov way better. To be honest,
You like Fakisov?
I
Yeah,
wait. Who was the full? There was another Russian. Was it Vladimir Fetisov or Fetisov was a
yeah,
defenseman?
Fakisov, Konstantinov, they were defenders. You're thinking about what's his face, Markov.
Huh? Markov?
You're thinking about Markov. Yeah, he was a
He
winner.
gets.
Sergei
I think
Markov.
Markov gets underrated because, to me, he gets underrated because Sergey was uh so good at scoring and Markov really didn't have a personality. That's what hurt Andre. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
And can you imagine if McGillney was on those Detroit teams with uh with with Sergey Konstantinov and Larionov and Fetisov?
Yeah, I can imagine. You make a good
Wait,
point, Tom. You good today.
wait, was Larionov a defenseman too?
No, Larry Nanoff was he? It was I know it was Fakisov, Constantino, Igor Larry Nanoff. No, he was a winger. He was a winger.
That's another. I think Larionov is another guy on that team of the Russian guys that got overshadowed because of that personality that Fedorov had and stuff like that.
Yeah, Fedorov was a cool dude. Uh, he was a cool dude until he ran into what's her face.
Was McGillney? Would you say McGillney was an overall power forward, or was he mainly a scorer?
He was a
Was he a
power
great?
forward. McGillney was no joke, man.
Oh no! What I'm saying is, what I mean by overall power forward, was he great on the defensive side also, or was he more of a scorer?
More of a scorer. But the one thing about him that separates him from like the other Russian players, he was the first one to take a risk. That's why this guy really worships him, bro. Malkin. Malkin said, "How the hell is this man not in the Hall of Fame?"
Oh wait, McGillney's not in the Hall of Fame?
Nope. And a lot of people are upset about that. You know why he's not in the Hall of Fame? Because he's not in the Hall of Fame because he did what he did, and there's a lot of old hockey people holding against him.
Uh, he did like something
He the one.
bad.
He was the one who crossed over. He took a risk. He risked his life to be in the NHL. Back in those days, the Cold War, Tony, in the 80s and the 60s, like between the 60s and the 80s, U.S. hated Russia, bro. It was bad, man. Like, you see this nations tournament they're going to have in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
No one's taking it seriously because America, Canada, they have one thing in common. They both hate Russia.
And and has in your honest opinion has Russia since Malkin and uh and uh and Ovechkin, I haven't seen another superstar out of that country.
Ooh, in Russia? From Russia?
Yeah.
They're around the league. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying I'm I'm talking about a generational or superstar. I'm not talking about a star. Like I'm talking about a superstar who changed the game for Russia. There's a difference. You've always told me there's a difference between a star, a superstar, and a generational talent.
The kid who Montreal took Demidov, he's coming next year. He's one of those players.
Who's the uh
Miskov in Philadelphia.
Mate Mitchkov or whatever his name is?
Yeah, the kid in Carolina who's having a monster years. Uh, Simikov. He's Russian from.
Andre, I know who you're talking about. Andre
Yeah, that's him. Number 37.
Shvetskov.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
the kid I like is the guy that Washington drafted. Was it last year or the year before?
2 years ago. I know who you're talking about.
Was that Demidov that they
No,
drafted?
Demidov went to Montreal. That's the main guy right there. It's Demidov.
He's a defenseman or a forward.
He's a center who can do it all.
I noticed this. It seems like with European players, it's either they're a great when it comes to how they're developed, it's either they're an elite scorer or an elite passer. It's rare that you see a guy who's great at everything, like an overall forward.
Oh, he's a great defender or a great goalie. Yeah, that's Russia.
Yeah, no, that I noticed the North Americans is where you see that more, where they focus on having great overall players who can defend and score. You don't. Why is it? Is hockey culture different in North America compared to like Europe, where?
Well, the Americans and me and Moss was talking about this 2 weeks ago. Where the Americans build their system from is from goalie, defensemen, and wingers. They don't develop centers here. That's what makes America so strong.
Oh yeah, weren't Brady and Matt on the same national team together?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the last few American teams have developed centers, but it's not a consistent thing. I agree with you and Moss. It's like you said, it's more the outside, the defensemen, and the goalies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Canada, I think it's overall.
Except goalie, their goaltending is horrible.
Would you say the Europeans is more everything?
Yeah, but they don't have the elite skilled wingers like we have. They have the goalies, but they don't have the
They
superstar
develop
wingers.
great centers. Europeans like have a track record of developing elite centers. Do you agree?
Which team?
No, I'm saying Europe, like
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
yeah.
hockey.
Europeans, yeah, they develop good centers, but Canada is the ones who get the Connor McDavids.
Yeah, the elite skill. The Europeans
Yeah,
are better overall players where they can defend and score and stuff
yes,
like that.
exactly.
The
And
perfect example of this is Anze Kopitar, Alexander Barkov. I forgot. There's another center. My God, what's his name? He plays on Toronto. I forgot the guy's name.
well, Nylander is a winger.
Huh?
Nylander is a winger.
Oh, William Nylander.
Yeah, he's a winger.
No, but when they drafted him, he was playing center and wing as a young player. But when
He told the Leafs he does not want to play center.
yeah, like I said, I think hockey in general, when you look at depending on where the players come from and the track record, it's either goalie. Europe is either goalie or the center position.
And defense. They got very good defensive players coming out of it.
And some wingers. Remember, Ovi and Malkin are wingers.
Yeah.
Michkov,
uh,
Demidov.
Kaprizov.
Career. Yeah. What? I forgot what the bread man Panarin.
Yeah, he's from Russia.
Yeah. No. Like when it comes to North America, I think, like you said, the the Canadians are good at developing the center and winger position. They struggle a little bit with defensemen. Do you agree?
Yeah, they got some good defensemen around the league. You know what's the problem with the Canadian players? They got the Michael Jordan syndrome now. What do
They
that
ra-
mean? All the kids want to be Connor McDavid.
the younger generation of players for the Americans. I think I can't remember. I was watching an interview with a winger for the American team, and he said he wants to be he wants to be exactly like Mike Madonna.
That's a good person to emulate.
That or Austin Matthews.
Another good player to emulate. United States should have no problems winning tournaments for a long time.
But the I thought in hockey it's better to be well down the middle with defense, center, and goalie.
Those things have changed, Tony.
Oh, you think it's more about wingers, defensemen, and goalie than the
You
center position?
you can get by with
Decent centers.
let me name a center. It's good, but you can get by with a Nick Suzuki if you got wingers and defensemen or Mark Scheifele. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you
Guys who
got
are good, but they're not superstars.
exactly, you can win Stanley Cups with that. Just ask the Tampa Bay Lightning with Dave Andreychuk 20 years ago.
Dave Andreychuk gets underrated a little bit. Do you agree?
Yeah,
Because he wasn't an outgoing guy, right? Dave. He was
now
more
we played in
he
Buffalo, so we played in Buffalo. Everybody ignored you.
yeah because Buffalo when he was in Buffalo the teams were bad, right?
They were up and down. Once Mogilny got there, that changed the whole thing for Buffalo for a little bit. Then they got rid of Mogilny because they didn't want to pay.
Did who was on those Madonna teams for Dallas? Do you remember?
Wow, he had Brett Hall, he had Bill Guerin, he had a
On the
lot
same
of people.
wait, was he on the same? Was Madonna on the same line with Brett Hall and Bill Guerin?
Nah, he was in the same line with Brett Hall. The Dallas team's good, bro. Dallas is good again. I mean, that trade they made yesterday was great.
I'm gonna bring two teams up in this modern era, like move them up. Like if Detroit and Dallas of the late '90s was in this era, would they like because there were would
The
they
teams
actually
of the '90s, if they were playing right now, those teams would be Dallas.
Detroit?
Detroit was in the West. Dallas was in the West. Colorado was in the West. So whoever came out of the West wins the Stanley Cup, unless, and this is why people just throw up their hands, unless they play the Devils.
Oh, don't forget Chicago of the 2010s.
No, I'm talking about the '90s. I'm not talking about the 2010s. I'm talking about
Was
because
the West the dominant conference during the '90s, or was it like
the
split down the
West,
middle?
the West.
The East was top heavy, very top heavy.
No, the East was good, but you had Mario Lemieux. Then you had Montreal for 1 year. And then the Rangers bought a cup. And then the Devils won. When the Devils won the cup, that changed everything. Because after
So
that, It was all Western teams that won the cups after that. It was Colorado twice, Detroit 3 times, Dallas. Everything
Tampa
came.
won in 20. Was that 2003? What year did the Andrew Tuck team win that Stanley Cup with Tampa?
2004.
But in the early 2000s and late 90s, it was all Western Conference, except
Yeah,
for
from
two
the
Eastern.
mid to late 90s, it was all Western Conference, yeah. Except for the Devils.
Do you think in the 20 in is it the other way around now? Like that the East dominated the 21st century, like
No,
the
the West is always the power, man. That's why everybody's on the Edmonton bandwagon right now.
you said the only thing that scares you about Edmonton is the goalie, right?
That, and I think, and this, if I'm Edmonton and Toronto showed them last night, if you have more big guns with the Oilers, you can beat the Oilers. If you could skate with the Oilers, you could beat the Oilers. That's why Florida beat them last year. They could skate with them.
No, you said it best to me during the Stanley Cup. Florida proved the first three games of the Stanley Cup that they could skate with uh with
Edmonton,
Edmonton, but the next three games Edmonton proved that they could play on
that
that
they,
shadow that line of being dirty and play physical
no,
with Florida.
Edmonton proved that their bench can come through. That's why they won the following 3 games because the idiot didn't play the bench the first 3 games.
Oh,
When,
what's his name? Maurice.
no, no, Maurice is Florida. I'm talking about Edmonton's coach. He has a
Oh,
catchy name. I forgot his name.
he
But he
used to.
has,
I know who you're talking about. Stewart.
no, it's
I
not Stewart. It's something else. But he's a good coach. Edmonton's coach. He's a good
not.
coach.
Do you think Maurice it's a was this a lot for you as a hockey fan who's watched the sport longer? Has Maurice been the coach with the longest drought to win? That it took him almost like close to about. He's been in the league for 20 years as a coach, right? 20, 30
No,
years as a,
this is his 30th year. It took him 29 years to.
for you as a fan. Was that the longest drought for a coach to win a Stanley Cup?
A good coach, yeah, but there's other damn good coaches. I gotta think of them that never won.
Boudreaux has
Bruce Bro never even got to a Stanley Cup final.
who's the guy for who was the coach in San Jose with Pavelski, Perry, and
Peter DeBoer, he's in Dallas now.
has DeBoer won a championship?
No, no,
Uh,
no.
has our boy Vinny won a championship?
Vinny who?
Torts.
Yeah, he won. Yeah, he won with he was the coach with Dave Anderchuk. Yeah, that's why people, the media loves him because he's a winner. If he never won, they'll look at him as a clown.
Uh, would you say like a guy like Tortorella, in terms of personality, do you think he's similar to like the style of play or what he wants his players to do? Like, is he like a Pat Riley and
Yeah,
Popovich,
yeah,
where he
yeah.
wants the guys to practice every day of the week?
No, he wants the guys to do what he tells them to do.
Is
But the
there a
problem with Tortorella is he wears them, and after a while, he got fired.
is there a coach that actually matches them perfectly into Pat and Popovich in hockey that is exactly like that, where they want the players to be practicing every day of the week?
Uh, Berube in Toronto. That's why Toronto is playing much better this year.
No, there was an old school coach that was. I think I can't remember. Was Lindy Ruff like that?
Yeah, he's a hard ass. Yeah.
Have you ever met him?
No,
What is your favorite hockey coach that you've met that you like having conversations with?
I was just talking about this too. Um, um,
Did you ever have a chance to meet Scotty Bowman?
no, I wouldn't want to.
Why?
Scotty's just in a different stratosphere. It's different. I met Mike Keenan. He was pretty cool.
Didn't you say you met half of the? Was it that Toronto staff?
You
Or
mean
so?
the Nordique? You mean the Nordique staff back in the late '80s, early '90s? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they're good people.
Didn't you say half of those coaches end up winning a Stanley Cup or something like that?
I think Crawford won. Did Padre win? No. I know Mark Crawford won one. Uh, Bill
The
Quinville won three.
yeah, with Quinville won 3 with Chicago, right?
Yeah, and Bob Hartley won a cup. Yeah, for Colorado.
The Tarjay I think won multiple junior championships in like junior hockey and stuff like
Yeah,
that. With
exactly. Yeah.
he
Who was the
he was
boy?
more of a
Yeah,
junior.
the boy won with the Kitchener Rangers a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think Tar. You said Tarjay.
Pierre Padre never won.
Yeah, no. Peter Tarjay was more of a juniors coach. He won multiple championships. I think with Saskatchewan or something.
Oh, I
Saskatoon or
don't
something.
know. Those guys are always in the Quebec League. The Quebec League back then was great, but racism in Canada, they don't like each other. The French and the Anglos, they don't like each other. They really have shut out the Quebec hockey. They don't even draft those kids.
Oh, no one talks about the Quebec Major Junior League anymore.
Nope.
It's either Toronto or
It's either the OHL. Those idiots even blacked out for the World Juniors, the Western Hockey League, where all your tough players come from.
and that's why Canada is having issues. They don't have any
Having
physical
major
players.
issues because hockey is a rich man's sport. Look at the American teams, bro. They're all rich kids.
Yeah, they're. I think the majority of those kids are kids of former players, hockey players. I think.
Not really. They just come from rich families.
No, I know that, and I can't remember. There's a couple of guys on besides rich kids. I think there's a couple, 2 or 3 of the kids on the offensive side that are uh, nephews or sons of former NHL players and stuff like that.
Maybe, but most of them are rich kids. Come from rich backgrounds. And plus, I'm going to do the race card. The
White.
reason why hockey is flourishing because they ain't no people of color in the sport really in America.
The only in North America, the only person of color right now is Evander Kane.
You
Right?
got you got Seth Jones, a couple of good black players in the league, but unless you're on a good team, they're not going to talk about you. Gotta be on a good team.
Yeah. Evander's on Edmonton, right?
Yeah, but he's not. He's been hurt. He ain't coming back to April.
Was there any like in around your time? Was there any good black players? Oh, players of color.
Tony McKegney was great. Um, I forgot the guy who's now on TV. He played Jamal Mayers was good. He was on the Blues forever. And
I'm
so,
not sure if he was from your era, but the guy that they named after he recently got in the Hall of Fame. He was a black defenseman or I think either a forward or something like that, or a defenseman. He was from the Canadian team or whatever. My God, he won. I think he won a couple championships with Montreal.
No, Montreal never had black players. Then.
I can't remember what team he played for, but
Unless
he's a
you could,
Hall of Famer now. He
Willie
was a guy from
O'Reilly.
the 50s or the
Yeah, Willie O'Reilly. That's what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
Willie O'Ree.
He's the first black hockey player for all places, Boston. I give them, I give Boston a lot of credit. They treat him with royalty up there. Good for them.
Well, and surprised when I hear you say they treat him like royalty,
They do.
which is surprising to me which is contradictory in my opinion when you say that Boston is very racist and stuff
It
like
is.
that.
It is. Why don't you go up there for a week, come back and tell me how you fought at Boston?
Yeah, I don't want to get stabbed. You've
Why
been
do
a
you think? Why do you think the Boston teams, other than Tom Brady, the Boston teams, other than ESPN, they don't get the love elsewhere? Why do you think that is?
because
Look what happened to Mookie Brooks. This is really what killed Boston. What happened with Mookie Betts, who was one of the most likable players. And when Adam Jones said back in 2018 that they said nothing but racial slurs to him, and when Mookie Betts said to the media, he ain't lying, I play for the home team and they do it to me every night, that really damaged the Red Sox to this day. It really has.
I
To this
can't.
day, the Red Sox are still feeling it.
Yeah, no. Did I have a question? Did did Bob? I know they respect him, but did they? You know how they say they? You just said that they said racial slurs to uh to
Adam Jones,
Mookie.
Mookie Betts.
Did they do that to Manny and David?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. That Mookie Betts won a ring before they did that to him.
I think so. Yeah.
He did. 2013. He was a rookie. They beat the Cardinals that year. That was their third World Series.
Are you like where you live? Are you so shocked that it's more Boston Red Sox fans than it is Yankee fans?
The Yankee fans are a little different. The Yankee fans, if you produce, they love you no matter what color you are. Boston always has the racial hang up against them.
Is that why uh they don't like these two young kids from the Celtics?
Yeah, I tell you right now, Tatum and what's his face, they better be
Brown.
glad they won a championship there. Now the stupid shit still goes on, but with this group of Celtics right now, they get carte blanche because they won something. That's how Boston operates.
It is where
What they
New
do,
England plays. Is that near Boston?
New England's right there. Yeah, the Patriots. That is New England. New England starts in Hartford in New Haven, Connecticut. That's what's that? The Yale University. That's where New
Yeah.
England starts.
Oh no. What I'm saying is Foxborough near Boston.
Yeah, it's right across the river. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
right
all
there.
the stadiums, Fenway, are all in like
except for
Fenway.
except for the Patriots, where they play. To tell you the truth, the Patriots is Rhode Island's team because Boston never accepted them until they won a Super Bowl. True story.
Oh, so there were more of a Rhode Island,
Yeah,
and
'cause that's where they do everything. That's where they train. That's where Foxborough is. Yeah,
even though Foxborough's in Massachusetts,
yeah. Right.
but you say
It's right across the river from the city. You can look at the Tony. When you go to the stadium, right? You're gonna see a big skyline. That's Boston. It's right
Oh
across
no, but you said most of the fans are
from
in,
Rhode Island.
yeah.
It's Rhode Island's team. The only reason why Boston got the credit because Boston likes winners. And remember, they won 3 Super Bowls before the Red Sox won a World Series.
That's it. Boston was a joke. The Red Sox were a joke.
No, they
In
were
the,
trying, but the Yankees were always in their way.
yeah. No, but what I was asking earlier, are you shocked that around where you are, there's a bigger fan base of Red Sox fans than there are Yankee fans
It
and
ain't
stuff
like
like that?
that no more. There's no Manny and Big Poppy there no more. When they were there, yeah, it was all Red Sox. Yeah.
But now it's where you live is dominated by
All
Yankee
Yankees.
fans.
All Yankees.
Who
All
who
Yankees.
was who was the baseball player that you always told me that would be showing up at Jimmy's Cafe?
That was the Latin teams back then. That was the Texas Rangers with Tony.
Soriano.
No, Soriano was on the team. Soriano was going there once he became a Yankee. Before they closed down, he was there.
Oh no, my God. He's the uh I forgot what the
The
guy's
Indians with Manny Baerga, those guys were there.
oh no, for the Rangers.
That was
Uh
Pudge. That was Palmero. That was Juan Gonzalez, Ruben Sierra. They were all there. Yeah,
yeah, Ruben. That's who I meant to say, Ruben Sierra.
yeah, they were all there. Yeah.
Was Ruben a big did Ruben have a big personality?
No,
Who was the dominant personality on that team? Was it Pudge?
Palmero.
Oh, Pudge was more low
Pudge
key.
was big personality, but Palmero was more.
But what's his name? Raphael. What's his name? Damn, we just said his name. Sierra. Was
Palmero,
he more low key?
Ruben Sierra, Palmero.
No, Ruben. Ruben.
He was low key. Yeah, Julio Franco was on that team. Yeah,
Was Julio Franco the guy who lost? Wasn't he? Did Julio end up going to?
he started in Texas. No, he started in Cleveland. Then he went to Philly. No, he started in Philly, went to Cleveland, then went to Texas.
Who was that? Who was a Who was the closer that Vizquel hates?
Yeah, Mesa was at Jimmy's Cafe. Yeah, Mesa.
Was Omar on any of the Alomars there or Vizquel?
Yeah. Mesa was the one who cost them the World Series. I
No, I'm
told
saying
you.
was Sandy or Omar
Yeah, Sandy
there?
was there. Alomar used to come in when the Orioles came in back then.
How about Vizquel?
He was there always. Yeah, all the Latin guys came. That was their hangout.
Was that like a club or a restaurant?
It was a club restaurant. Yeah, it was a sports bar, but also a club. Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Jimmy, Jimmy was good people. He treated me so well there when I used to go there. I had free food and drink and watch my
Did you
games.
ever talk to any of the guys when they were there?
What the players?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say hello to them. Yeah, they were good.
Did you ever have a chance to like have a sit down conversation with guys like a Pudge or a Rafael Palmero or anybody like that?
Nah,
Was Pudge very like stuck up?
he was all right if you knew what you was talking about. Most players are that way. If you know what you're talking about, they'll give you their time. If you're
Yeah,
like a
no, because
fanboy and sound stupid, they're not going to talk.
oh no, the reason why I asked that is because I've heard rumors that Pudge was a prick. Not
Yeah, I think once Pudge became a star, which he was back then, I could see what you're talking about. But he was good with me. I'll just say what's up to him and keep him. And
Did you ever have a chance to talk to Manny
no, thank God.
or David Ortiz?
No, no,
But by the was Jimmy closed by the time David got to Boston?
no. It was still.
I heard somewhere that
It's
Jose
gone now.
Fernandez used to go there all the time
Who used
too.
to go there?
Jose Fernandez.
Oh, it was closed by the time he came. Jimmy was way closed. Jimmy
How
closed at
arrogant
20.
would Yankees fans have been if they were able to get Jose Fernandez?
Forget it. And what they said when he passed away was very classless.
Was this Yankees fans or
Yankee fans.
the
Oh well,
the?
that's exactly what they said. Oh well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Was like let's be honest. I've said this multiple times. I felt bad for Jose. He was a teenage. People forget when he debuted, he was only 18 years old.
You know what hurts Jose Fernandez? You want the truth? How he died and what he was doing leading up to his death. That's why people don't like fans don't feel sorry for him. I feel horrible what happened to him. But when you're doing the things he was doing, you kind of think he brought it on himself. Remember, he was driving the boat when it capsized. And I heard that family never recovered, sadly. Very sad. Yeah, I heard his family never recovered.
Oh, oh no. But what I was asking, um, with Jose Fernandez, that whole situation. I, I've said this multiple times. People forget how young he actually was when he debuted. He wasn't in his 20s when he debuted. He was only a teenager and stuff like that. And uh, when you're a teenager like that and you're having the flashing lights on top of you, you don't know how you're gonna handle that type of thing, that type of pressure and stuff like that. And
Well,
I and do you agree with me? The younger you are, and the more I think it's I think baseball to me is a harder sport to adjust as a teenager than like a hockey and stuff like that. Or do you disagree with me?
I disagree with you, especially in his case that he was a pitcher, and from the day he arrived, he was a dominant pitcher. If it's one thing he had to learn a couple of years, and then it clicked, and then this happened to him, or he was a perennial all star pitcher every year in the National League. From
Yeah,
the
and people always
day
say he
he
was
was
Pedro Martinez. Do you agree with that
I
comparison?
totally agree with that. I totally agree.
With that comparison, for me, when I looked at him and the way he pitched, I understand the Pedro Martinez uh comparison, but he reminded me more of Valenzuela.
Oh no,
Fernando?
I think he had the dominant stuff like Pedro. I think Jose Fernandez was it before what happened
What
to him.
was Valenzuela dominant only for one season, or did he have a dominant career
I think he
throughout?
had two. I think he had 2 or 3 years, and then he fell off.
Was he on those Kirk Gibson teams?
I think he was on. Kirk Gibson only played with the Dodgers 2 years. Was he on the team? Yeah, but he wasn't the same Fernando. Though. That was Oral Hershiser's team and Bob Welch and those guys.
Why don't people talk about Earl a lot? Hershiser.
Oral,
Oral. Yeah.
I think because he didn't win enough. But if the Indians won that World Series the year they played the Marlins, he would have forever been a baseball uh, legend. But because he only won one, and I guess him and the Dodgers never recovered. Remember, until 2017, the Dodgers went 29 years without making the World Series.
How long did it take Philly?
For what?
Like, was Philly like that too, where they had a long stretch where they weren't making the playoffs
Yeah,
or the World
yeah,
Series
yeah, yeah.
until the
Philly,
Ryan Howard World Series with Chase
yeah,
Utley?
exactly. The Ryan Howards, the Chase Utleys. That's why people like me were pissed off that Utley didn't
Jimmy.
get there. Jimmy Rollins, but they're gonna get in.
Honestly, that's the only guy on that. Like, I couldn't stand Chase, or they were Marlin killers. Chase and Ryan were Marlin killers. I
You're
liked
right.
Jimmy. I couldn't stand Chase or Ryan
I
at
watch the
all.
Phillies every night. I know what you're talking about.
The only pitcher they struggled with on the Marlins was Jose. Jose would shut them down, but but other Marlins pitchers they made was Josh Beckett gone by the time they got to the Phillies? Chase and Ryan.
Yeah, the year the Phillies lost to the Rockies, that was 2007. He was on the Red Sox. The following year, Philly won the whole thing.
That would have been a scary pitching staff with Jose and Josh Beckett at the top.
No, well, remember, Jose Fernandez was 10 years later than when the Marlins won the World Series. Josh wouldn't have been there.
No, I'm saying if Josh had stayed on the Marlins,
It could have been, but remember, Josh would have been 10 years into the league.
did Josh become a better overall pitcher later on in his career where he didn't
No,
rely so much?
nah. He did what he had to do. He won one with the Marlins, and he won one with the Red Sox. And back then, the Red Sox was the most popular team in baseball. Josh Becker will always be remembered. The question is he going to be remembered more as a Marlin in time, or is he going to be remembered more as a Red Sox?
For me, I think it. I'm a
I'll say
Marlins fan,
Marlins.
but
I'll say Marlins.
no, I'm gonna say Red Sox. I
Yeah.
I hate to say that as a Marlins fan because he had. For me, Josh was better. To me, Josh was a better playoff pitcher than a regular season pitcher. Do you agree?
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you why Marlins. He beat Barry Bonds in his prime. He made the covers always remember Bartman until 2020, 2016. And he beat the Yankees in their peak. That's not easy to do. And he did
Oh,
it.
he and that people forget that Cub team had a great pitching staff. Wasn't
But
that Mark Pryor?
Pryor and Wood. Mark
Who
Pryor and Kerry Wood.
who did you like better, Pryor or Wood?
Kerry Wood. He was more of a power pitcher.
Pryor was more of a like eat
Like a
you.
Greg Maddux type.
He would eat you alive on the corners, but he wouldn't throw the pitches in the middle,
Yes,
basically.
yes, like Greg Maddux. But he had power too. Yeah.
Honestly, I like Tom Glavine better than Maddox or Smoltz, to be
I
honest.
don't have an argument with that.
But
And
why is it that?
all four of them was great.
Yeah, no, but why is it when they talk about those that pitching staff, they always bring up Greg Maddox first, then John Smoltz, but the last person they talk about is Glavine.
Smoltz is number one because he was a great big time pitcher in the playoffs.
How
Glavine
about
was number two because he he was good in the playoffs, but he had his rough times. Greg Maddux never performed well in the playoffs. That's why Greg Maddox don't get talked about anymore.
Oh no,
He was,
no,
he was in a big playoff team.
he was a more. Would you say
Regular
Maddox
season.
was more of a?
Regular season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, for me, like I've said, I've al- I've always been a baseball and hockey fan more than actually baseball and football and soccer. I never was a big fan of basketball because I never really played it and stuff like that. Is that how you were? Were you more of a baseball and football fan than you were a baseball and
I
basketball?
was a baseball, basketball, football, hockey fan. But then as I got older, like in my 30s, I became more of a hockey fan. One, football two, uh, basketball three, and baseball last. But now the guy who's talking to you is football one, hockey two, baseball three. But all right, Tony's gone. Let me do the recap of the NHL, and then I'm out of here. I'll be back tonight for this matchup right here. John Morant, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Where have they gone? They're forgotten players in the media. And now that this trade happened, you're never going to hear about these two anymore. And we'll talk about these two in the pregame show tonight, 8:15 Eastern time. But let's go over the NHL from last night. I want to do this before I get out of here. And you guys are great. So the synopsis of the topic today: who won the Laker trade? I think both teams won. I think in the present, the Mavericks won. In the future, beginning in the year 2028, the Lakers will win. Because the Lakers will have their superstar player for the next 10 years, beginning right now. Alonzo, Blue Jays still talking. So that's still in the works. Let's do the NHL from last night. We will begin with the Stanley Cup champions, Florida Panthers, who gave up the first goal in 7 seconds, no lie. And then they totally dismantled the pathetic Blackhawks, 5-1. So Rangers, 2 goals from the newly acquired J.T. Miller, but Mossie's Bruins totally kicked the Rangers out of the building 6-3. Pasternak had another hat trick, the 13th one of his career. Ottawa is rolling. They are now 2 points behind the Leafs, and they beat the Wild last night 6-0. Sanderson scored his 27th. John Norris, who's on fire, scored his 19th, and he scored a shorthanded goal. Islanders, yes, the Islanders have won 7 in a row. Patrick Roy put a foot up their ass. Sarnak and Goncalves score. The Islanders, they win 3-2, 7 in a row for the Isles. Don't look now, they're coming. Penguins shut out the Predators 3-0. This game was awesome last night. I watched this game while I was doing the Royal Rumble last night. The Jets, Winnipeg, Cole Perfetti scored. My guy, um, Josh Morrissey, had 2 goals last night, including the game winner in overtime. Winnipeg now completely running away with the Western Conference, and they're gonna have. It's a good chance they're gonna have home ice throughout. And you gotta give Winnipeg a lot of credit. Winnipeg, Toronto, the only two teams in my hockey fandom, 53 years now, have never appeared in the Stanley Cup Finals. Maybe this is the year for both franchises. Speaking of Toronto, they go to Edmonton, and I always said about the Oilers, if you have a team with big guns in your team, you can beat the Oilers. Well, Toronto got four of them. And Toronto got a 3-0. They held on to win 4-3 in Edmonton. Nylander scored his 30th. Tavares, off the injury list, scored his 23rd. Leon had 2 goals last night for Edmonton. Big win for the Leafs, who are battling the Ottawa Senators. Wow. Wow. Incredible. Kings snapped their sorry losing streak. They won 4-2 last night. Good win for LA. Red Wings win in Alberta last night as they sweep the Flames. Dylan Larkin scored his 23rd. Fisher scored his 6th. Red Wings keep playing well. And that is the NHL scoreboard from last night. Tonight, where are we at? Okay, this is where we at. Tonight we got big NHL card. I think I watched hockey. Devils at Sabres, Flyers at Avalanche, 305s Canadians in Anaheim, Islanders at the Panthers. That's a good one. I think I'll watch that tonight before I come on the air. Golden Knight and the Rangers, Blue Jackets and the Stars, Blues and Utah HC. Red Wings are in Vancouver tonight. Canucks playing better. They made the big trade Friday night. And a game that I will be keeping my eye on, the Flames and the Kraken up in Seattle. So there you go. That's your hockey rundown. We'll see you tonight from Memphis. Bucks, Grizzlies, and why are John Morant and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the NBA fandom forgotten? Let me say one more thing about the NBA. These people who are crying about the NBA is boring and this and that, these moronic idiot fans, watch them now all jump on that damn Laker bandwagon. And you know what, folks? I'm going to end it with this. The Lakers are the same team they were yesterday. The difference is they're going to lose 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks. That's going to Dallas. What they're going to get is a ball hog who's a great player, but he's a ball hog who can't play defense. That's what they get in return. See you tonight, folks, in exactly 9 hours from now. I'll see you in 9 hours. Enjoy your day. Have a great Sunday, everybody. Thanks for being here. Good day from the Oasis. Thanks for being here, everybody.